sounds so simple, a tarp that collects water, but actually it hasn't really ever been done before. G'day, Luke from Drifta here, at Drifta HQ in lovely Gloucester, getting these rain tarps ready to do another video on. So we'll try to take you through everything what's going on here. There's a lot of components to this, and it's a fairly simple system, but there is quite a few components that we had to design and redesign. You know, they'll be available for purchase if you want to buy them. Now you'll be able to use them for camping, but the main reason we designed these was for the Sea Mercy project, but this is something they've really needed so that they can set this up, and it's you know, as we've shown before, it creates shelter, primarily shade and shelter, and also with the design we've made up, it also collects, holds and stores water, fresh rainwater. So we might give you a quick look at that as well now. Yeah, it's very simple, but we've got a nozzle here and like a little trunk going into the drum, and we've got this section here where it's got a piece of fiberglass inside there, and that provides this little gutter, like a flexible fiberglass gutter that directs the water simply down into the drum. So a very simple system. So yeah, rain falls on here. We've tested it with rain over last few months, and it's collecting is about 10.5 to 11 square meters of coverage, because it's collecting, you know, about 110 litres from 10 mils of rain. So the system can hold about 500 litres, so from 50 mils of rain, which is, you know, a good storm or a couple of days, you can collect and hold and store 500 litres of water with this system. So yeah, into the drum. So you can see that's just a simple little fitting on here. That clips on there, clips onto there. Alright, so that's the water going in, and the water coming out is from another outlet and just into a hand pump there. Everything you see here is included in the two drums, okay? Delivery is a big thing. You know, the Sea Mercy basically sails into the islands. There's 3,000 islands in the South Pacific. There's not going to be a wharf or anything like that, so sometimes they've got to anchor up 100 metres out from the shore. You know, it's a lot ideal. You can just throw them overboard if you like. They're waterproof. You can swim them in, pull them up on the beach, send them up. One person can set these up in 15 minutes, pretty easy. What I might do now is pull some of the gear out of a pair of these drums. We'll lay it down on the ground so you can see exactly what's inside, and you get a bit of an idea. Now, me and Kaito only packed this up the first time this morning, so we've sort of learnt a few things about how to pack these kits together. One thing is, to start with, is this fiberglass. Now this stuff is quite important because it's what holds the shape of this tarp. Yeah, of course we'll have some good instructions that we're going to do up shortly. Something else to keep in mind, the majority of these products are all Australian made. So the drums come from Melbourne, canoe drums. Collection bladders come from Melbourne as well. The fiberglass comes from Ingleburn in Sydney. Got some hoses, more poles, and these pegs, a couple of pumps, all these fittings here, all these fittings here. So that's in the kit. Now again, what we've talked about is these rain tarps. They can be delivered all across the South Pacific, and not only that, but all across the world. Anywhere you see any natural disaster, very quickly the population becomes relying on aid, food and water particularly, and also shelter. Because most of these areas it's raining and there's plenty of rain to capture. It's just a matter of storing it. Now the other problem is, and this is where I was talking to Pat, and where he was really concerned, is that Pat was a yachty, and like surfers and yachties around the world, they're in contact with the ocean all the time, and they see the plastic problem in the ocean every day. So the yachties and the surfers are very passionate about plastic in the ocean. You know, if you just sort of live in the city or you live away from the ocean, you know, you might not realise how big the problem is, but it's a critical problem in the world. And you know, a lot of these communities in not just the third world, but a lot of communities in Southeast Asia and around the place, they just don't have effective rubbish control and rubbish collection. And in so many of these places, plastic bottles just end up in the river and in the ocean. And then once they're in the ocean, they stay there forever, really. And the bottles themselves aren't such a problem, but once they break down, 10 to 15 years time, they break into 1,000 pieces, and that's where it becomes a real problem, because the fish, all sea life, ingests this plastic, and it simply kills them. And there's nothing really you can do about it. Once the bottles break up, you know, you can't collect the plastic anymore. And I've picked up thousands of pieces of plastic on the beaches myself, and it's really disheartening to see how small a pieces these plastic breaks up into. But this tarp will become, you know, a big part of that, because it means that families can use this tarp and they don't need to be delivered plastic water bottles time after time, day after day. Hundreds and thousands of plastic water bottles, single use, that just get thrown away and end up in the ocean. So, you know, it's got a lot of good reasons for the tarp. And you know, if you want to get behind it, you can donate for the tarps, and we'll get some of these built and delivered and ready for deployment, you know, all around the world. Righto, so we've put the garden hose on, and you can see that simulating the rain. You can see the leaders on the side here. If I turn that on there, that's now going to drain into the bladder. Alright, that's all from us Saturday morning here at Drifta HQ. Thanks very much.